see, it is extremely windy outside, even still. And, you know, there's just no way that I can do a video with the camera that I have, not having one of those little wind muffs to protect the microphone. It would just be super loud. So we are going to take the video indoors. And what I want to talk about in today's video is a couple of things. Today, I lost 3 in a row. That's actually nothing new, but what was different about this one is I lost the 3 in a row testing the deck that I want to talk about for today's video, and then I got bug bot. And when bug bot loaded up, it crashed. I restarted. It said, do you want to continue your game? And I said, of course. Who doesn't want the free win against bug bot? And it crashed. And I restarted again and it crashed. And I cleared the cache and it crashed. And minus 300 points later, I finally said, well, why don't I go over to a room match, try to clear out what's going on with whatever is causing this glitch. Came back, played a room match, a league match against Bugbot again. It loaded up, but then Bugbot timed out after 5 or 10 seconds. Not really sure what's going on with that, but my best advice is if you haven't played in a while, or if you lose 3 in a row, it might be in your best interest, if you care about your rank, to just not play again until we get some word from the creators of Pokemon Duel that the game has been fixed. I'm under 3,000, but I really don't care, and I'm gonna lose some more in today's video because what I'm talking about is what happened between when the game was first released and the release of the Gen 7 starters. What I'm more specifically talking about is if we look at the starters for Gen 1, and quite honestly, I picked up on Pokemon from Pokemon Go, and so I know Gen 1 more than I know anything, and by me saying I know Gen 1, that means I have a working knowledge of Gen 1. I don't know much more than the different Pokemon, but Gen 1 does hold a special place in my heart. And if we look at the starters, if we look at Bulbasaur, for example, 53, which isn't bad, but it's pretty small and has a ton of miss. If we look at Squirtle, it does 30 damage. If we look at Charmander, 43 is okay, but scratch 10, scratch isn't gonna even scratch most Pokemon these days. If we compare that with the starters from Gen 7, specifically Popplio has a 40 attack and a usable purple. Not unlike Bulbasaur's purples are usable, but Smokescreen on Charmander is not. It does nothing. It gives the opponent weight, which does nothing. And I understand Smokescreen in the game, it creates a Smokescreen which allows you to get away, but in this game, Smokescreen does nothing, and it has a 40 attack. So it's already better than one of Charmander's attacks and better than Squirtle's attack. Moving on, if we look at Litten has Scary Face, and it's also an uncommon. The one thing they all have in common is that they're uncommon figures. It has a 40 attack, which is on par with, it's just under Bulbasaur's for the highest attack. And it has Scary Face, a 1-star purple move that will allow evolution. Now, the Gen 1 starters, the 2 figures that have purple, none of them are going to contribute to an evolution. And that's one big difference that I want to get into in just a moment. And then if we move on to Rowlet, we see that it has a 40 attack and then a 10 attack, but the 10 attack is gold, so it does have some value there. And the thing that all the Gen 7 starters have is Popplio turns the opponent's purples to misses, Litten turns the opponent's gold into misses, and Rowlett turns the opponent's blue into misses. That's going to make it significantly easier to get an evolution if your opponent has ginormous miss sections, where the Gen 1 starters, which came out when the game first was released, you get what you get. It's WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. Now, the next thing is Gen 7 starters, once they evolve, and we can come to the agreement that the evolution is going to be fairly simple. It's not going to be a given, but it's definitely not going to be something you should shy away from. When they evolve into a rare. When the Gen 1 starters evolve, they evolve into a common. And the commons have no special abilities. If we look at Dartrix, it respins the wheel. If we look at Torracat, has a 4-star purple move, Fake Out. The Gen 1 starters at the first evolution have nothing even remotely in the ballpark as these Pokemon. And then we move into the final forms, and they're probably pretty comparable. Power creep has played in just a little bit, but the problem is with the Gen 1 starters, without outside help, you're not going to even make it to the final evolutions. With the Gen 7 starters, it is very conceivable that you can run any one, or maybe even, and what I want to do in a future video is run all 3 Evo lines in the same deck, but you can run any one of those in a deck, and chances are you're going to get the evolution out of it. So somewhere along the way, Gen 1 just got lost. They are old and archaic at this point. With all that being said, they still hold a special place in my heart, and as such, I want to revisit something that I did many moons ago when I first started playing the game, and that was I did a Gen 1 challenge. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back, check out the video that I did, pull the same deck that I had then, and I'm gonna run it today, because what I did is I tried running the evolutions with all the starters and it just wasn't working. The deck can't hold up to the power that comes at you with a bunch of EXs, but I'm gonna take the same deck that I had many videos ago and I'm gonna see if it can compete in league matches today. Looking at the deck, this is the same deck that I ran. It's got Dratini all the way up to Dragonite, Squirtle all the way up to Blastoise, Jolteon, Charmeleon to Charizard, Poliwhirl, and Pikachu Rare up to Raichu. I appreciate all the feedback from everybody on the videos and doing them this way. And one thing that I did hear a lot of people say is don't go completely away from the commentary. So what we're gonna do is, much like before, only now you've got me over, I don't even know. I'm either gonna be over here or I might be over there, but the screen will be opposite of me. I think the screen will be, I don't know. I think the screen may be over here. So here we go. Luckily for me, disconnecting to Bugbot provided me the opportunity to play some low ranked people. So hopefully I won't just get absolutely destroyed. Let's see, my opponent hurdled. Okay, well, that being the case, Poliwhirl is actually a really nice matchup here. So I'm gonna take Poliwhirl, attack into Entei, and that's the way that is supposed to work out. I don't know if you can tell, but my frame rate is really bad on my screen recording right now. I think since I'm doing so much more screen recording, I'm running through my memory a lot faster on my phone. I don't know that to be the case. I'm just, wow. This is off to a great start. I don't think I could have asked for a better start. So we're gonna hop over, just end my turn there. We do have Wobbuffet. Someone brought up on Discord about using Tapu Bulu to erase Wobbuffet. This is not gonna end well. Oh my gosh, it did end well. To erase Wobbuffet's ability of not being able to attack. I don't know why you'd want to erase that ability. I don't think people are going to attack with a Wobbuffet anyways, although they could and then knock out your Pokemon. So here we go for the game. The Gen Run crew, if I remember correctly, it's not going to work. If I remember correctly, the Gen 1 crew actually pulled off a really nice victory when Poliwhirl slept somebody, knocked somebody out, and then held on at the end for the win. Man, I really wish that these Pokemon did something other when they were asleep. If it was like when they were frozen and then they couldn't spin their wheel, I would like that a lot better than just sleeping, because yeah, I can move through it, but I need to trigger one of these evolutions and I can't do it against a sleeping Pokemon. All right. That's actually super cool. I wonder if he's going to Gold Block now that he sees that he's in trouble. That's what I would do. I wouldn't have done that move to begin with, but okay. So if we can survive here, that's even better. Now, typically, I would not surround the Pokemon here. I would actually leave it where it is, but because it's a Latios, when I surround it, it's going to get banished from the match, and because of that, I think the best play was to go ahead and take the surround. Now we're going to have Wobbuffet come flying out. I'm going to move Squirtle up. This Aggron is going to be difficult for me because I have to attack it. Actually, I think I'm going to do this. Dratini's a pain since the buff to play around because you want to attack it. It's got this little bitty, it's a huge wheel slice, but it's this tiny little 30 attack. But look what's going to happen here. Now, I have to land my white attack. With that being said, we're going to go double chance. Let's try that again. We have to land the white attack. Awesome. So welcome to the game, War Turtle. And just so you know, I did not set the Mega Evolutions because Mega Evolutions weren't a thing in first gen. So I'm actually keeping this pretty true to the original video. We're kind of paying homage, and I didn't realize that this thing was focusing, unfocusing, but we're kind of paying homage to the early days of Pokefodder here. But I also want to see what's different. $244 is a good number. I actually have a hurdle jump, so I'm going to threaten the goal here. He's going to have to use Gold Block. My guess is Aggron. I guess he doesn't have to use Gold Block. He could slide Entei over. Entei. What do we want to do about this though? We're gonna play it safe. I hope my camera isn't focusing out. Like if I go like this, it'll probably focus on my hand. No? Okay. Poor Jolteon. Can you imagine a day when Jolteon was... I'm actually okay with that. Maybe I was smarter than I thought back in the day. Because leaving paralysis is really nice. He's gonna lose Heavy Slam. Here's what we're gonna do. I don't want... Oh, I should have done... If I get knocked out, I hope it freezes him. Perfect, that worked out. That's what I was trying to do there. Because now I will take War Turtle out and attack in the hopes that I can land a physical attack. Oh, maybe not. Maybe going after the goal is a better decision. All right, here's where we're gonna go. No dodge. And that's gonna give us our own Mega Blastoise. I'm feeling good. I like where we're at here. We're up 4 Mons on 3 Mons. We have one of his entry points. We can knock Entei out. No matter what he rolls. Even if he rolls his purple attack, if we roll our purple attack into it, then that's a victory for us. And who doesn't want 130 dealing damage Blastoise? We will try, since I like the matchup here. That's going to flip us around. He's going to be able to swap spots with Pikachu and Poliwhirl there. Pardon me. I can't shake this cough. And when I'm doing my regular videos, I was always able to edit those out, but such is not the case. What are we going to do here? I liked where we were. It all of a sudden didn't seem so safe. First thing we're going to do is we're going to move Pikachu into just range to cover goal. And then I believe I'm going to attack his goalie. All right. Scratch that. Nothing good there. Gonna need to find a way to get up to his goal. I actually feel like when I'm playing with this deck, I feel like it's usable. The problem is I'm not landing consecutive attacks in order to break this open. I really shouldn't be sweating a guy when I have 4 Mons to his 3 Mons. The problem, but I can't get, that's not gonna be, and now he's gonna hurdle jump. But I can't get consecutive wins in order to knock out my, in order to secure the game, basically, is what I'm trying to say here. My battery on my camera's going dead. Like, this is not good in any way, shape, or form. Let's try to knock. I can't believe we just lost that. I don't know how Entei just rolled through my team. How many rolls did I lose in a row there? It was several. Not good. I have to admit, I'm not really thrilled with how, little Casey Neistat here, and we'll zoom in a little bit. I'm not really happy with the way that that game went. I don't know how I lost, other than I just lost 3 or 4 rolls in a row, but I don't know that that should have happened. Undeterred, we're gonna go into another game. All right, so my losing streak continues. Hopefully, I can beat this opponent, although this opponent's deck looks significantly better than my previous opponent. And what is it with me losing to decks with Wobbuffet? I have to be the only person who goes against a Wobbuffet deck, because nobody runs Wobbuffet, right? Like, and was Wobbuffet the last Pokemon I knocked out? Did I knock him out because he was iced? And then not knock out another Pokemon the rest of the game? That's entirely possible. Gen 1. And here's the funny thing is, Gengar's Gen 1. So maybe I should, at a later day, run an updated Gen 1. I can't think of off the top of my head what other Gen 1 Pokemon have been released recently, but maybe that's what we need to do. Dratini, I like the icing ability here, because it's gonna hopefully, like it did last game, allow me to trigger evolution. And this isn't gonna turn out well for me unless I roll purple. Okay. I'll take that. Now the question is, it's not even a question, I'm just gonna push forward. I am at such a disadvantage, and like I've said before, when you are at a disadvantage, it's probably in your best interest just to apply as much pressure and attack, not carelessly, but attack as much as possible, because you never know, something good might happen. Gonna take Dratini, move him. When I look up, I'm out of focus. I hope that I'm in focus when I'm looking down. I don't know. We'll see. This is all trial and error. I'm gonna leave him there, and we're gonna bring out Poliwhirl. Poliwhirl does nothing against Leo. Does nothing against Bulu. It does nothing against... It does nothing against any of these. These are all polyproof Pokemon. But I don't care. We're gonna march forward. We're gonna try to be offensive without being offensive. Think about it. Sleep. No sleep. I want to leave the paralysis on him. So if I get knocked out, I'm okay with that. Except for I have Dragon Tail. So I just sent him back to the bench. That wasn't very well thought out. Not good. I'm gonna give him this evolution because I just can't stop it. So then what do you do? Do you revive Dragonair? I don't know. And he has Hurdle Jump. So this went from bad to worse. I think my best bet is to leave a status. Hope I don't hit Dragon Tail. If I can hit Magnetic Storm once. I don't know. This is not good. Once double chance. I don't care about stealth hit because he's not going to take it, so. This is a level. All right, well, here's the deal. You know what? I should have X attacked. No, I'm glad I didn't. Trying to catch my camera. Focus or no focus. Not only, well, okay, never mind. Well, I can't think of two worse figures to have on my goal right now. But this is what it's come to. And that's a good game. Not good. I've not won a game since I changed the way that I'm doing my videos. So, I didn't necessarily play the best, but I think the underlying current for both of those games, I don't think that would have happened with the Gen 7 starters. Squirtle, unless my opponent got electrocuted by Dratini or burned by Charmeleon or frozen by Dratini, then, did I already say that one? It was frozen by Dratini, electrocuted by Jolteon, burned by Charmeleon. I don't think Squirtle had an opportunity, was ever going to be able to evolve unless it was just sheer luck. And that's not the case with the first form of the Gen 7 starters. I hope they do something with the older starters who are completely irrelevant to the game. I think personally that Mega Charizard, I actually think Charizard, but especially the Mega Charizards, I think they're very good figures that are very viable. The problem is nobody's going to run a 1 MP Charizard, and Charmeleon getting the evolution is doable, but at the same time, do you want to run a figure that kind of has to have a little bit of luck to trigger the evolution? And the obvious answer is no. Most people don't want to take that risk. Having a 50 attack is, you know, you can find opponents to pick on. You can find Tapu Kokos. You can find the occasional Mew. You can find one of the Gen 7 starters to kind of pick on. But a good player is going to keep those hidden from you, and then you're kind of stuck with a Pokemon that you're not going to be able to use. And I would just like to see those, all of them, not just Gen 1, but I'd like to see all of those get a revamp or some kind of a buff. And that kind of goes for everything, and Rico touched on this in his previous video, but all of these older figures are so irrelevant to anything right now. And there's a handful that you can work into, but it's not, for the most part, no. If you look at, I can't even think of one off the top of my head, but just pick a figure that came out. Zapdos is still being used, so there's an example of a Pokemon that came out early in the game's, you know, I can't think of what I'm trying to say, but in the game's infancy, you had Zapdos and the 3 legendary birds, but Zapdos is still viable. He's mostly viable because people have chain levels and because of Coco, but for the most part, you still see a few Mews. You don't really see Greninja anymore. Yveltal is kind of made a tiny comeback, although even with the buff, you don't see Yveltal hardly at all. And I would like to see them take instead of 5.0 coming out the way it did, bugs and all, I wish they would have kind of revamped all the older figures, made it so that they're more relevant. And what I hope doesn't happen, but I'm seeing start to happen, the trend that I'm starting to see is where we get Pokemon like Malamar, which comes out and completely counters the meta of the Cosmodex. And then 2 weeks later, they release a Pokemon that counters Malamar. And then you get Solgaleo and you get Lunala, which come out, and now they just send your Pokemon to the PC, Jet Kick. Sends your Pokemon to the PC, it doesn't even knock them out. And those were done in an effort to help combat the Cosmodex. But at the same time, I just hope that the trend doesn't become release a figure, everybody invest in that figure, 2 banners later or a banner later, release a figure that completely counters that. Meanwhile, power creep going up and leaving all the older Pokemon behind. I definitely would like to try and experiment with using some older Pokemon. There are Pokemon that I want to run for fun, and me being me, I will definitely do that. I'm actually toying with taking Dragonite to level 5. The problem is, and the reason why I haven't done it yet, is because it's 1 MP unless you get the evolution, and getting the evolution with Dragonair isn't always the easiest, so I don't know. So I'm looking for a fun Pokemon, and I guess my project Pokemon is actually Malamar, so I should stick with that. But you know me, I change things up too much. Anyway, that is gonna do it for today's installment. I really don't even call them installments anymore, but it's an installment. It is still Poke Fodder. If you haven't already, check me out on Twitter. There's links in the description below. And I definitely know the description below is under where I'm talking. I don't necessarily know if it's there or there, but I definitely know it's below. And check me out on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. I post screenshots of things. I retweet things to help you guys stay in the know to what is going on currently. And it's a good place to have a conversation. Also, Discord, Reddit, be sure and check those out. And until next time.